Evil Dead Rise. So yesterday night I was watching Evil Dead Rise, the newest Evil Dead movie in the franchise. And to be quite frankly with you guys, I haven't been watching this kind of movies, the Evil Dead franchise. So this is mostly a new experience for me. And what did I get from it? Well, this movie did a perfect job scaring you. Now, let's first start with the setting. The setting takes place in a near empty apartment, and it sets up the tone and the vibe really well. It really scares you with this set of building, and it really works within the movie and the setting. Now, the performance, our protagonist is now played by Lily Sullivan. She is perfect in this cast, you can really care about her and her family because this movie involves around her family and especially her sister. Now, her sister is played by Alyssa Sutherland, and she is equally impressive in this role. And she gets to do a harder job balancing because she is the demon here, balancing the two performances that she's getting. One as a mother, a normal mother, and two as a true evil. And Alyssa was able to balance these two tones, these two drastically different tones all together to make and mix the perfect character, and that is the evil itself. Now, the evil. Before I talk about the evil, let's talk about the mother side of Alyssa's character. She played a perfect role for this, and there is a transition between becoming a normal mother and transforming to a pure evil. And between the middle section of that performance, the middle point of that transformation, you get a sense of feeling like, yeah, she is transforming a normal mother to a monster. During that moment, you can actually feel her suffering because the demon has possessed her inside, and you really feel the changes. She can also control parts of her mind, but most of her mind is already controlled by the evil. And that is truly apparent in this film, the transition between a normal mother and an evil. And when she becomes a true evil at the middle point of the movie, well, not the middle, quite at the start of the movie, while she is being possessed and it gets worsened and worse again, you really feel that drastic transition. And she played both parts perfectly. When she becomes the true evil, she is very, very terrifying. And that is also thanks to the makeup department. The makeup did a great job to really make her appearance terrifying on screen. I was just terrified just by seeing her underneath that makeup. She is so realistic and so frightening with that makeup. It works perfectly. Now, yes, because this is a movie that is set on one location only, and that is a near empty apartment, you feel that feeling of entrapment, that you can't go anywhere from room to room, but you can't go anywhere outside of that apartment. And it works perfectly. So whether you're scared or not, you must face your fears. And yes, because this is an Evil Dead movie, I did some research. And that turns out the one characteristic of an Evil Dead movie is also a lot of blood and gore. Yes, this movie also has a lot of blood and gore. And yeah, maybe this movie is not for everybody who is allergic to blood and gore, but if you are a fan of horror and an Evil Dead franchise fan, you might enjoy this. equally as you enjoy other horror movies, because this has a time of fun introducing introducing that blood and gore aspect. And what I like about this movie is also the pacing. The pacing here is so fast. It's so tight. There's no time for you to properly introduce your characters in the movie, and that works perfectly because this movie is rapid. This movie is it jumps directly to the horror without wasting too much time on the movie, because this movie is only an hour and 40 something minutes like that. So the pacing, the runtime fits perfectly with the context of the story. This kind of story doesn't need a long runtime like John Wick, for instance. This is a different kind of movie. It's not like that. So the performances works, the runtime works, the setting works, and the horror and the blood and gore really complements this movie. Now, there are two scenes that I didn't particularly enjoy, and that is one scene at the beginning and one scene at the end of the movie. I think these two scenes don't really connect with the main plot. If you deleted these two scenes, it would not affect the movie in any way. You know, the narrative is still the same because these two scenes don't connect to the main plot. So I think they should have deleted that scene. You know, I think the first scene is the coolest title drop, but aside from that purpose, this scene at the beginning doesn't have a really narratively purpose, you know. So does the end scene. The end scene is just like setting up maybe a whole new franchise, but it doesn't come across as so natural. So you could have just deleted these two scenes. But in terms of the pacing, in terms of the overall movie, this is a really good one. This is a non-stop thriller. This is a non-stop horror movie with a super tight pacing, and it suits that film. So overall, I'm going to give 8.5 out of 10 with Evil Dead Rise. If they do decided to make a sequel out of this movie, I recommend them to, expand the scope of the locations, expand the scope of the story, because this takes place in a one location only. And if they decided to make a sequel, make the impact of the story wider and maintain the scares and equally with an important story. So 8 out of 10, and see you in the next video. And if you are a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, please recommend me what is the best Evil Dead movie in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.